So today topic of discussion is health management of poultry. How can we manage the health of poultry so that they will be in good production performance? So first, disease prevention. That is the most important subtopic under health management is disease prevention. It is a disease caused by infection with a living microorganisms such as bacteria, virus, mycoplasma, parasites, protozoa. So these are the disease produced by these microbes are called infectious disease. And most of the infectious disease are also contagious. That means spread from one chicken to another. Just for example, that is Staphylococcus infection. And some disease are non-contagious in nature, that is aspergillosis. So there are two types of disease. One is first is contagious disease and infectious disease, and second is non-contagious disease, and that is not spread from one chicken to other chicken. Methods of disease prevention. How can we prevent the disease at the poultry farm? There are 4 methods through which we can prevent the occurrence of disease. The occurrence of disease, not prevention of disease, occurrence of disease. That is prevention by sanitation, prevention by isolation, prevention by vaccination, and prevention by medication. Sanitation is just occurring before occurring the disease, that is precaution measure. Isolation is separating the sick birds from healthy birds, that is isolation. Vaccination, that is preventive measure, just for prevention of disease. And last is prevention by medication. If disease are occurring, then there should be treatment. So that is prevention by medication. First, to discuss the prevention by sanitation. So first, what is sanitation? Sanitation is used to reduce the number of disease organisms which the chicken contact to the level where they will no longer cause disease, and to provide a clean and healthy environment. And sanitation is not killing the all germs, but simply limit the number of microorganisms which are causing disease to a certain level where it can't cause any disease to the birds. They will remain in the birds, but they will not cause any disease to the birds. And it also provides clean and healthy environment to the poultry birds. How it can be achieved? By cleaning and disinfection. And first, by cleaning the floor, roof, floor, wall, equipment, feeder, water, everything. And after cleaning, there should be thoroughly disinfection by chemical agents. By adequate ventilation, to reduce the number of microorganisms in the air. When there is adequate ventilation in the shade, in the poultry shade, then there is air movement, and through air movement, the microbes will disperse in the wider area, and so it reduces the number of microorganisms per unit area. And by reducing contact with other chicken by keeping them in cages, means reduce the contact between the birds. If we rear the birds in deep litter system, then there should be not possible to reduce the contact between different birds. But when we keep the birds in the cage, then we can reduce the contact between birds. First is sanitation of building and equipments. When birds are reared in the cage, and cage are intended to keep the bird out of contact with their droppings, spilled feed, and water, which are the source of bacteria and provide the medium for bacterial growth. So when we keep the birds in cage, then there should be reduced contact between dropping and birds, spilled feed, any spilled over feed, and feed wastage, water, wastewater. So because these are the major source for bacterial growth and provide a good media for their growth. Fly control, fly also the carrier of different type of disease. So fly control should be also necessary in the case system of housing. On floor operation, that means in deep litter system, an adequate amount of dry litter helps control bacterial growth. Hello. अरे जीएसटी भी लो ना यार, अभी मैं क्लास ले रहा हूँ। 3 वैट नहीं चलेगा, जीएसटी चलेगा। So when birds are reared in deep litter system, that means on floor operation, then adequate amount of dry litter should be provided on the floor as a bedding material to control the bacterial growth, because if the moisture coming from dropping of birds, it is absorbed by the litter material and provide no any media any for growth of bacteria. That is, for growth of bacteria, there should be necessary of need of moisture in the medium. If litter is fresh and dry, there should be less moisture in the litter material, there, so there is less chance of growth of bacteria. At clean out, when cleaning all the building and bringing the dust or debris from the building to the outside of building, that is at clean out. Spray dust from wall, clean the dust from the wall, ceiling, fans, and from roof, fans. And after cleaning, then wet down the surface to and remove the litter on the floor. Then clean the building equipment using appropriate detergent and water. After that, after cleaning, then follow the infection program, that is sanitation program with good disinfectant and chemical. Why first is cleaning is necessary? Sweeping and cleaning is necessary because when we use disinfectant and chemical agents in the dirty surface, then there should be less penetration of disinfectant to clean the floor or to kill the microbes. That is why first sweeping and cleaning is essential before disinfecting the materials, and floor, roof, equipments, anything. The litter should be spread at least 100 meters away from the poultry building. Any litter material after cleaning from the shed should be disposed at least 100 meters away from the poultry shed. Next is feed. Between flocks, clean out feed in the troughs and bins both inside and outside the building and remove it from the building. And when you are providing the feed to the birds, then all fish are not eaten by the birds. Some were left over. And these leftover feed from the different shades should be collected and disposed of away from the building, not outside the building, not inside the building, just outside the building, some distance away, so that if there will be fungal growth in the feed, then the birds should not be affected by them. It can be held to feed to chicks at a similar age or sent for reprocessing. If left out of our feed are more in quantity, if they are not destroyed by spoiled by fungal growth, then it can be again feed to same age of group, not different age of group, yeah, higher age of group or lower age group, but to the same age group, because feed is the major source of microbes which are coming from nasal discharge, I discharge discharge from saliva to the feed. So it should be must fed to the only same age group. Outside storage bin must be checked to make sure spoiled or moldy feed is not adhering to the inside and that the bin is empty. When we are collecting the spoiled feed, spilled over feed or waste feed from the shed and kept it outside the building, then we will also regularly see that the bin where it is collected should be not have fungal growth or mold infestation. If it is there, then it should be cleaned thoroughly and periodically. Feeder should be appropriately constructed and set so that feed is not spilled out into the litter. Any feeder provided to the birds are constructed appropriately constructed so that there should be no spill over of feed. Because if feeds are spilled over, then it will come into the litter and then it will provide the food for the microbes. So as far as possible, minimize the feed wastage and spilled over feed.
सर ये सेकंड पॉइंट एक बार समझा दीजिएगा, ये जो है इट कैन बी हेल्ड टू फीड टू चिकन ऑफ ए सिमिलर एज।
यानी कहने का मतलब है कि जो फीड हमने, सबसे पहले सिंपली ये समझो कि हम फीड बर्ड्स को दे रहे हैं खाने के लिए, ठीक है, तो जितनी मात्रा, ऐसा तो है नहीं कि वो 100 ग्राम खाएगा और 100 ग्राम ही हम दे रहे हैं, हम तो फीडर को भर देते हैं, ठीक है।
yes,
अब बर्ड पूरे 24 आवर के लिए हम दे रहे हैं, मान लीजिए जो भी हमने फिर 2 बार 3 बार दिया तो 24 आवर वो खा लिया, लेकिन सारे खा लेगा पॉसिबल नहीं, कुछ रह जाएगा। तो जो रह जाएगा वो क्या होता है कि बर्ड्स की मौत से सलाइवा सिक्रीट होता है, नेजल डिस्चार्ज होता है, इससे क्या होता है माइक्रोब फीड में आ जाता है और फीड को जब ये वेस्ट फीड है उसको कह रहे हैं उसको हम बाहर डिस्पोज कर दें। लेकिन बहुत ज्यादा क्वांटिटी है, क्वांटिटी ज्यादा है फीड का, तब उसको हम डिस्पोज करेंगे तो क्या होगा, हमें फीडिंग कॉस्ट, हमारा कॉस्ट बढ़ेगा। तो करके यदि उसको डिस्पोज फीड को यदि वो उसमें मोल्ड इन्फेक्शन ग्रोथ नहीं हुआ है, फंगल ग्रोथ नहीं हुआ है, तो सेम एज ग्रुप के बर्ड को खिला सकते हैं आप, सेम एज ग्रुप के बर्ड, डिफरेंट एज ग्रुप, लोअर एज ग्रुप, हायर एज ग्रुप में सेम एज ग्रुप को खिलाना है। दैट इज द पॉइंट। ओके
ओके सर।
नेक्स्ट इज वाटर सैनिटेशन। ओपन ट्रॉप्स एंड ओपन पेल्स and open water are a source of contamination from nasal and oral secretion and feces and must be cleaned regularly. If we are providing water in the plate, open plate, a shallow plate, then there should become what, oral secretion, any nasal secretion, feces of birds. So it should be cleaned regularly and presented with fresh air, clean and fresh air. Nipple drinker are much cleaner, but pressure must not be too high. You see in this is the nipple drinker, this is the nipple. Birds just suck the nipple, just take it in their mouth and simple press, not high pressure, simple press, the water ducts come into their mouth. If some water is spilled over, then it will be collected in the plate. You see a small plate below this, collected in the plate. So it also prevents the wetting of litter material. So it is said that nipple drinker are much cleaner because there is less chance to be infected by oral secretion, nasal, especially nasal secretion or feces. But the pressure in the nipple should be maintained. If there should be high pressure, then water should be spilled over from the mouth of birds and it will wet the litter material, which cause further bacterial growth, ammonia gas production, taking of litter, just like this. A tremendous number of bacteria can build up in the pond and some well, in water line, in drinking cups or troughs. When we use the water from the ponds, well, that means kuan, or supply water lines, or when we use drinking cups or drinking troughs, a small plate type. So there is build up of bacteria by the tank. If we left it 2 to 3 days, then there will be tremendous growth of bacteria. So a periodic or regular water sanitation program and is necessary, and also when there is supply of water through pipeline or there is calcium deposition in the water cup, troughs, water line, it should be also de-scaled to remove the scale found by the calcium. हाँ बोलो। पिछले महीने का थोड़े लेना है बात हो रहे हो? नहीं पिछले महीने में। Next come to air and air quality. Air should be clean and germ-free for providing healthy environment to the birds, and for this a good ventilation system should be necessary to dilute the number of microorganisms or concentration of microorganisms and carry away the dust, because the air movement also carry away the dust produced in the shade, and along with the microorganisms, and keep the air fresh air, also keep the pen or poultry shed dry. Next is sanitation of caretaker, that means worker who are working at the poultry farm. You know that the workers are working at different shade. Same workers working in different shade. So they are a frequent carrier of infection from bird to bird. Because the workers handle birds, equipments, and they carry microorganisms in their hands, clothes, boots, even in equipment. So it spreads germs from one group to another group on the farm, or bring germs in from other farm. If the worker also working on other farm, then there is also chance they bring the germs to that farm. If the same person is looking after more than one building, outer clothing and footwear should be changed between building. Any clothing, outer overall, and boots must be changed when entering from one building to other building. If for one building there should be one boot and one cloth, for other building there should be another cloth and coveralls and boot. Not use same boot and coverall cloth for all building. And hand washed in different, and also they enter the one building, from one building to other building, they have to wash their hands, so that there should be reduced number of microorganisms should be transmitted through the hand infection. If possible, separate workers should take care for chicks and young birds and adults. If it is possible, keep separate workers for young birds, that is for brooding shed, for grower shed, or for layer shed. If it is possible. If it is not possible, then change the cloths and boot and work in different building with different cloths and boots. So this was prevention by sanitation. Next come to prevention by isolation. Prevention by isolation. And isolation means separating the sick birds from healthy birds. It helps to stop the microorganisms that cause disease from contacting the chicken. And it will help to reduce the chance of disease to be occurred in the healthy flocks from the sick flocks. When the microorganisms which cause a disease are eliminated from an area or country, the disease is said to be eradicated. And when a disease is 100% eliminated from a particular area or particular country, then it is called eradicated, yani it is completely stopped. Just for you say anthrax disease in the animal, Jones disease, just like there are some disease of animals which are completely eradicated from the India. Whether or not a disease can be prevented by isolation depends on, and which type of disease are prevented by application of isolation or which are not. It depends on the where the microorganism that cause the disease live, and where the disease causing organisms are living, where what is their inhabitat. Because some organisms are widespread in the environment and difficult to prevent birds from contacting them. And some organisms are widely distributed in the environment and it is impossible to protect the bird from contacting them. Just for example, necrotic enteritis, staphylococcus infection, coccidiosis, E. coli infection, this comes to in this category. Some microorganisms are found primarily in chicken, especially in sick birds or carrier healthy birds, and live outside the bird body for a short time, or live outside the body of birds for a very short time, just like Mycoplasma. Other microorganisms may live for days or weeks or months in the environment, depending on the organism and condition. Some organisms will live outside the body of the birds for days, weeks, or months, depending upon the environmental condition, that is availability of moisture, temperature, humidity, rainfall, just like this, whichever is favorable for growth of the microorganisms. If the condition is not favorable, then the microbes will die. If the favorable condition should be available, then they will grow. The diseases that are easier to control by isolation are those where the quality may survive outside the body for a short time. Yani isolation measure only should be applied to that microorganisms which are live very short duration for a short period outside the body of birds. If the agent is egg transmitted, the breeder flock must also be free of the disease. If somebody is just like salmonellosis or florum disease, which is caused by transmission from egg and egg transmitted, so breeder flock should be, breeder layer should be also free from that type of disease, just salmonella florum 3 disease. With some disease, a regular monitoring program may be required to ensure that the flock remains negative. And serum assay or serosurveillance should be adopted time to time, so that it should be assured that the bird should be free from that particular disease. The good isolation is equivalent to quarantine. If you provide a good isolation to the birds, then it is just equivalent to quarantine. Quarantine means, what is the difference between isolation and quarantine? Isolation means separating the diseased birds from the healthy birds. Quarantine is separating or restricting the movement of newly coming animal or birds to the existing flock or existing herd. That is the difference. That means quarantine is used for outside animal and isolation is applied for inside animal, inside existing animal of the farm. Next, important feature of an isolation program. What are the important features for isolation program? Let me worker must be trained to carry out the sanitation and isolation procedure, must understand why the rules are set up and why disease prevention is important. If worker don't know, then why he will apply this? There should be negligence by the workers, so they know what is the importance of isolation. Only one group on the farm. If only one age group at a farm, that is all adopt all in all program. Building should be apart from 100 meters so that there should be less chance of transmission of disease, speed of disease from one building to other building. And obtain ticks or replacement from disease-free or disease-free company or single source, or raise your own replacement stock. Limit the movement of workers from one building to other building. Bring only new and sterilized egg case and flats, keep out visitors or provide boots and protecting clothing. Disinfect coming vehicles. Shower and changing clothes after taking chickens to the market or meeting with poultry workers from other farms. These are useful things. Next come vaccination, prevention by vaccination. If the poultry have a good immune response to many diseases and vaccination, they also pass immunity to options through eggs. Breeder poultry require a special vaccination program. Here we are only the vaccination schedule of commercial broiler. That is first day, Marek disease, subcut at the neck. 5th to 7th day, Ranikhet disease has F1, intraocular, intranasal. 14th day, IBD vaccine, intraocular, intranasal. 21st day, RD virus Losota strain in drinking water. 28th day, IBD vaccine booster in drinking water. Next, vaccination schedule for commercial layer. That is 0 day, 28 Losota. Then at 6th week, 18th week, 8th week, 9th week, 12 to 13 week, 18th week, and 42, 50th week. That is the Losota virus RD vaccine repeated every 2 months and given in water. So this is the vaccination schedule for commercial layer. Now prevention by medication. There are two types of medicine. One is preventive medicine and second is therapeutic medicine. Preventive medicine means it helps to prevent the occurrence of disease. That's like coccidiosis. For coccidiosis, we include coccidiostat in the feed so that the number of or population of coccidium in the bird's gut should be controlled and not causing diarrhea or any type of disease. If birds are heavily infested with coccidia, then there should be bloody diarrhea, their gut should be reduced. That's like this. Then this is the preventive medication. A second is therapeutic medication. Therapeutic means if birds are suffer from a disease, then treatment should be done. That is therapeutic medicine. And it used to control the speed of disease from one flock to other flock, from one bird to other bird. That's a treatment of coryza. Sometimes we are using antibiotics and resistance of certain antibiotics also develop in the birds. The virus infection do not usually respond to medicine, although medicine may prevent the secondary infection. If birds are suffering from just bird flu, then no any medicine and any medicine will respond well, but the secondary infection caused by the viral infection, a viral disease, is controlled by the medicine. The medicine given by the injection should not be given into the abdomen or leg. And that in the medicine which are given by injection should not be directly given in the mouth or legs or in muscles. They can given under the skin of the back into the muscles of the breast. It should be given just inside the skin or in the breast muscle. Medicine given in the drinking water can be poured in drinkers. And whatever medicines which are used to be given by drinking water, then it should be given in drinker, mixed in drinker, and in not much water, because you have to maintain the level of medicine in the drinking water. Because if the level of medicine must match the daily consumption of water and should be reduced in hot weather. If you are providing 1 gram in 1 liter water generally, and in a shade the birds are drinking 2 liter water, then we have to only mix in 2 liter water, not in 3 liter water, because 1 liter water will be wasted along with the medicine. But it should be reduced in hot weather, because in hot weather birds are drinking more quantity of water. Then just batch the concentration according to this, because if birds are require 2 gram medicine in 2 liter water in general day, but in summer they require they are drinking approximately 5 liter water, then you have to mix 2 gram medicine in 5 liter water, not 5 gram medicine in 5 liter water, 2 gram medicine. Because if you mix 5 gram medicine in 5 liter water, then there should be overdose, they may cause toxicity to the birds. The water should be given for 8 to 16 hours a day, not 24 hours, because they have to drink all the medicated water. So restrict the time of drinking water. It's a most preventive medicine is often added to the feed at the feed plant, just like coccidiostat, they are mixed in the feed plant, in the feed, so birds can consume every day and control the growth of coccidium. In a disease outbreak, medicine can be added to the water until medicated feed is available. In case of outbreak where the large number of birds are affected, then supply the medicine, mix the medicine in the water, and when the medicated feed comes, then it should be given through feed. It's a growing birds drink about 3 times as much water compared to amount of feed they eat. If the growing birds eat 100 gram feeds, then they will consume 300 gram or 300 ml water. Adult drink about 2 times as much by weight. And adult birds require less quantity of water than growing birds, because growing birds require 3 times of water as per consumption of feed. But in case of adult, it requires 2 times of the weight of feed. Okay. So any question? Any question?